Okie dokie, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Friday Night Live with the Bob Nelson, as you can see, joining us. Good evening, Bob. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm doing great. Although, well, I got some. Just give me a second. We got something.
Okay.
We got something we got to discuss here. I just want to give the Woodhounds a moment to join here. We've got Hot Rod Dave from the Deep South in the house. Tim and Old Saws. Good evening, Mr. Van Dusen. The York Woods is here, and Wild Bill Irwin already noticed my glass, his favorite glass. So let's see. Miller Stumps and Firewood's here. All kinds of people are tuning in because we have some big news to talk about tonight. We got a lot to talk about. We got
Yes, sir.
a lot going on. So first, I just want to welcome everyone. And of course, again, welcome you, Bob. Thanks again for joining us here tonight on Friday
Thanks for
Night
having
Live.
me. Thank you.
And obviously, before we get to any of the questions rolling through here, the elephant in the room. I got to bring it up. The big thing.
Okay.
It's raining out. And I think it's
Yes.
because you are on my live stream.
I have the rain scheduled for this weekend instead of next weekend. Okay.
Oh.
I was thinking about that today. I was like, all right, I'm planning for rain, right? We got all the mowing done. We're making room and we got tents, but yeah, it's been raining and I'm hoping that's going to be, the rain will be spent by, let's say, the end of next week.
I'm just bringing this up because I think you have become the new rain, summoner, because you have had quite the streak starting off this year.
Yes. I tell you what, it is.
Isn't it every event you've been to?
Yeah. Well, yeah, probably. With Messick's, I think we did okay. I don't think it rained until we were done for the day there. But yeah, what did we do first? We had the Hoosier event.
The Hoosier?
Oh man, did it rain there? And it's not like you could just go, all right, well, I'm going to stand under the tent and wait it out because there was work to be done. So we, everyone there was just drenched, but everybody got stuff done and they got more done than the year prior.
Yeah.
And then, what after that we had
Ohio.
Joe's. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Uh-huh.
And then
it's like the first half day was good. Yeah. And then Maine was, the first day was really hot and no rain. And then the second day, like the temperature was like 20 degrees cooler. And the rain really had started like right about the time of closing the show. So that was when everybody was coming to pick up their splitters. And that was the time when you had to start putting stuff away. So that was miserable as well. But
and here we are tonight. Like I said, it rained all day here.
Yeah, but I'm not by you. I'm over here, so it is raining here too, though. So it's not.
Hang on here. Somebody says they're hearing an echo.
Uh-oh.
I don't know. I don't hear one, but
it's Jason.
Logger Jason.
Jason, I think your computer's broken. No, I'm just kidding.
Somebody else was saying it first.
I can turn my volume down too.
No, I think we're good.
Okay.
I don't know. Unless you don't have your YouTube window open, do you?
Mm-mm.
I don't know. Anyway, we have a coin in the cup. So we need to bring out the ladies. And
okay.
Do you have a cup there, Mr. Nelson? Oh, that is a very nice looking little tumbler you have. Other way. There you go. More.
More which way? This way.
Perfect. All right. We're going to bring them out. Oh, I got to find.
Dan, I think it's something wrong with your end because
What?
they say it's only an echo when I talk.
Yeah, there's only an echo when you talk. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
No. Anyhow, let's take care of this business first.
Okay.
Bring out. Oh, I have to add you. Oh, hang on. There you are. And there is Captain Jack. Cheers. Happy
Cheers.
Friday. Thank you very much, Log Cabin Firewood.
Thanks, Jack.
All right. Well, I don't know if there's
I don't know. Now everybody's saying it's fine.
maybe they had two devices on. Or who knows. But we try to bring you the best quality we can here on Friday nights. So if there is something, we will try to get to the bottom of it. But I'm seeing a lot of sounds good here, sounds good there. Bill Irwin's question is, I wouldn't want to plan a picnic with either of you guys.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
Yes, that is. But
unless it's under a big pavilion, then it's okay.
Yes. Hello, Brent and Don in Montana. Good evening. All right. American Country 716. Hello, everyone. We love Wolf Ridge products.
Hey.
There you go.
Thank you.
All right. Well, yeah, so we kind of just touched a little bit upon the whole, you've had a busy year starting off. You've been to a lot of shows already.
Yeah.
We're going to get to the big one coming up next week here in a little bit.
Yes, sir.
I do want to quick make an announcement about next Friday night. Unfortunately, there will not be any gathering for Friday Night Live. So, because, and I don't know if you want to touch on this at all, but you were kind of shocked by the lack of hotel vacancy, and
yeah,
Amanda's going to be working. Little boss man here. I'm not going to have time to do anything other than be right here. So,
and I'm not sure, like if it's because we had all those storms and all that hail damage and stuff here. So there's like contractors and stuff all over the place at these hotels, and so yeah, we looking for hotel reservations. I made a post a couple weeks ago because I tried to find them, and last year it was no issue. There's hotels everywhere in the Eau Claire area, but
yeah,
this year we went to book the Residence Inn and it was all booked. So I'm staying at the Holiday Inn Express, and I know that there's a few other people staying there, but yeah, that's
so if you are a last minute planner and you're planning to come to the Midwest Firewood Frenzy next weekend and you're looking to stay at a hotel, you may be a little bit further away or out of town before you can find one.
And there should be plenty to pick from. I mean, really, you would think it's a big area. There's a lot going on.
It's just I think all the like newer and main hotels are along 53 over on this side of the town, kind of. So that's I'm just gonna quick grab this question from Glowing Firewood 50. What do moderators do? I added a couple of people as moderators, and they said they couldn't read or see comments. Well, I'm not sure if you mean. Usually the moderators are just mostly for live streams, but I think they can also go in. I think they can also monitor on your comments on your page. I don't know. But mostly they just monitor, like on live chats, they can block people, give people timeouts, keep the chat clean. Put them in a timeout. That's right. Neighbor Doug, One Eye Custom, says the Echo Fix hasn't made either of you look any better. Oh, jeez. Well.
How bad is the echo? How
bad? No, he said it's fixed, but we still look the same.
Oh, okay. Unless he's saying that the echo was the fix to try and make us look better.
I don't know. Anyway, get your cup again because Twin Rivers Wood Products.
Yes.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you very much. And there was one other thing I think I saw fly through here that I was going to have you bring up. Maybe not. Never mind.
Maybe, maybe not.
Lily's Farm and Firewood.
Hey, Matt.
So far this year, what has been the best show you've been to?
What?
Any of them stick out? Any of them?
Should we say the driest? Is that a safe? Well, to be honest, they've all been good. We left machines at every one of them that we were at. So that's not that that's a good gauge of whether it's a good show, but it's always a good group of people that you interact with. I would say the main show was really good. That is a big show. There's a lot of industry equipment there. There's a ton of people that go to that one. And it's not often that we get out that far. Northeast Bangor, Maine, that's way out there. Next year it'll be in Essex Junction, Vermont. But so many of the other ones are kind of centralized around the Midwest. So,
my follow-up was going to be what in your mind makes a good show? Is it the sales, number of machines you sell,
I don't,
or isn't it?
I don't think so. But I look at it differently. I know that some people will, gauge the worthiness of the show on sales, and I don't do that. It's more so the conversations that you have with people, whether it be new people just looking at equipment, people that you've known, that you've seen at shows year after year, people that have had a machine for how many years, and they're there to tell you what they like about it or what they want to see. And this community in general, I would say attendance is what makes the show. And again, that's not a direct correlation to sales either, because you could have a ton of people go to a show, but they're not all going to buy stuff too,
All right. That was always a gauge in the pro wrestling world as well. Asses and seats. How many asses were in the seats?
That makes sense.
Did you ever get this question at a show? Looking at getting a splitter and want to know, how do you know if you need a hydraulic cooler? From Jerry.
I say if you did he say where he's from? No,
but I believe he's going to be here next week. I think he's from Minnesota somewhere.
Okay, depends on operating temperature, like ambient temperature. If you're going to be running the splitter all the time in the hot summer, if you're going to have an extra person running it with you, so your cycle back to back, cycle time is back to back to back. What we found with ours is if you're running it for maybe about an hour, then that's when, if you don't have an oil cooler and you're running through, let's say, a multi-way wedge, tougher wood, then you'll start to build some heat. But, it really depends. There's like, I feel like there's like 3 or 4 of those variables, and like pick 2. If you've got 2 of them going, then just get the hydraulic oil cooler, because it's nice to have the added insurance.
Yeah.
Rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. But
there you go.
I'll also say, depending on which machine, like our machines, if you order one without an oil cooler, if it's one that if it's one that you can put an oil cooler on as an option, you can add it later. So.
All right. We have a couple coins fell in the cup, so I'm just gonna quick.
Yes, sir.
Let's see here. How many did I miss? I think just 2. Okay, I'm gonna grab these 2. We're gonna keep it here for Rick's Outdoors, who has a topic we're gonna talk about later, maybe.
Rick,
congrats
thank you
on Wolf Ridge.
Cheers.
Yapa, and then hang on, let me grab this other one here from Glowing Firewood 50. Thank you very much, you two. Cheers.
Thank you. Cheers.
All right. Daniel Atkins, I saw. Well, Logger Jason had a question about who has more axes on the wall, and I
think Dan's got me beat.
Well, I don't know. You have more, I think, but they're not all axes. Some are hatchets. So if you want to be technical.
Oh, okay. All right. I see how it goes. Yeah.
I think I might win on the technicality right there. But
I have a couple I have something to bring up,
Uh-oh.
and I was saving it. I was saving it for this live stream, guys.
Oh boy.
I don't know who all remembers when we asked if anybody would be interested in Picaroon from Council Tool and Wolf Ridge. So they are
Oh.
finally done and finally in our hands, and we are going to have those available at the Firewood Frenzy first before we put them on the website. So I have 100 of these, and it's going to be a long time before we can get more. So just wanted to point that out.
And that's the door prize for coming in early?
No. Come on now.
Everybody will
But
be there at 4 in the morning.
This is US made hickory handle. We got laser etched Wolf Ridge. It's about $10 more than the Council Tool one that comes unpainted. So
very nice. Wow, look at this. Dropping some
merch.
New merch here. So next
merch
week,
drop.
You will have those.
I did not ask permission. I hope it's okay.
From who? Me?
Yeah.
Oh no, I don't care. I know
Okay.
Maybe there might be some people watching out there that they always get their ants in the pants because everybody's has a product to sell, and heaven forbid, But so next week they'll be available first before they're online at the Frenzy.
Correct.
You have 100 on hand. All right.
Yep.
Well, all right. Daniel Atkins had a question. Bob, I replaced my wear plates this week, and they seem one could flip them over and use the other side.
Yes, you could do that.
You could?
Yes.
I thought the holes were a little off center to where you can't flip them over.
No, I think that.
Or if you flip them over, you have to put them on the other side and then reverse.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, but it's important to make sure that you want that to make sure you keep an eye on those wear plates, because basically if those get worn out and you're not paying attention, you'll start grinding into the underside of the top plate of that beam, and that's when it becomes expensive.
All right. I think I missed. Oh, the Saw Surgeon is here. Good evening, Ted. WD-30. I think Rick's Outdoor said he needs one of those.
He needs a Picaroon.
That he's talking about.
Okay.
Let's see. What is the highest temperature on the gauge on my 28 Pro X that I should run before letting the machine rest or cool down?
For me, I say once you get to 150, 160 degrees, that's when I would start to kind of take it easy on it. You don't want to go past 180. That's when you start frying stuff.
All right. Oh, and we have another. Hang on, I missed this one, I think, as well. Glowing Firewood 50 again. Dropping another coin. Thank you very much. Cheers. All right, somebody. Lake Ontario Firewood. I noticed all your USB-C stickers.
I saw that. Yeah, they are. They're magnets. Here is my best one, and it's been a long time.
What the hell is that?
276. What?
What the hell is that?
It's a little award for league bowling. It was 276 on October 5th of 2011. So, it's been a while.
Wow.
It's been a while. We used to I had a few friends that used to bowl, and then last year, almost like a year and a half, my hand was really messed up, and it's a lot better this year. I had the procedure done on it, so now I can bowl again if I want to.
Will those Picaroons be available at upcoming shows like Bunyan?
Yes, that is the plan to bring those. Yep.
You'll have some there.
Yep.
Are people allowed to try out your machines for a day or so?
At the at the shows and events and things like that, yes, but otherwise we don't do loaners or anything like that. We do kind of plan a schedule, each year of where certain things will go to different like YouTube channels and things like that. So we've got 2025 planned out. But basically, when those machines go out, they go somewhere for X amount of time, and then we sell them to the next owner and give a slight discount for it being a demo unit.
But you have plenty of like shows, and then like the Hartville Hardware show, and then like
yes,
all the other shows, and coming up in 1 week from tomorrow, the Firewood Frenzy would be a great opportunity.
Yes, sir.
So let's see. I'm just going to see if there's any questions quick before we get into. Well, yeah, actually, before we get into next week, let's talk about this past week.
Okay.
There was some big news dropped, some big announcement made earlier in this week. So for those that don't know, I will let you give the announcement once again.
Okay, so Wolf Ridge is now the U.S. importer and distributor for Yapa firewood processors in the United States, and it's been a wild week. A lot of you guys know that I used to work with those machines heavily at my last job, and there was never we never attempted to basically like take them, but basically our door was open, and they wanted to do business with us, so we got contracts and stuff done, and now we're in business, and we're working on getting our price list and our schedules and all that stuff done. Our first container is leaving Finland in about 3 weeks, so it's gonna be fun.
So if you want to get on the list of, do you know yet what's all in the container?
Yes, I do. So the first container, we will have a 505 diesel. We already have a 405 diesel at Wolf Ridge. We actually bought it used from a customer. It's low hours, so we'll have that at the Firewood Frenzy. People can see it, and we will be running into our new disc cleaner from the Perfect Split. So it's really a match made in heaven there. But we've got 505 diesel in that first container, 365 Perfect Split, which is something that I have wanted for years, and that's going to be really awesome once that's here. And then I think that's it. It's 505 and 365 is the majority of what we have in that first container. We will have a 315 TR PTO machine at the Firewood Frenzy as well, and maybe a 365. So it's things are moving fast, and there's a lot of moving parts.
So I know those machines break down pretty compact, but when you think about like a container, you're probably pretty limited on how many you can get in there.
Yeah, when it gets to the big ones, especially like 405, 505, 435, those, they have to go in the long way.
Yeah.
And the 365s, this is one of the things that's really cool about how these machines are manufactured. Sometimes people pick things apart at a show and say, well, you should do this or you should do that. And like, there's a reason for everything. Like Yapa 365s will fit in the width of a container, the way that they, break down for transport. So you can fit like 13 or 14 of them in a shipping container. Now, if you would make that machine, 2 inches longer, it wouldn't fit in that shipping container.
Oh,
and
interesting.
Similarly on like the Wolf Ridge splitters, a 28C or a RS or a Pro, like what you have, those will go the long way on an 8-foot trailer for transport, and we can double stack them in crates. So when we go to, you can really maximize how much you're shipping to like the dealer network, or when you're going to these shows, you can put a ton of machines on one truck. So there's like, that's one of the aspects of like manufacturing and engineering that I kind of didn't really think about until, when I was dealing with Yapa the first time, and then seeing the way that Chris has done with these splitters too. It's really like, if we send a dealer semi truck out, we can fit like 19, 20 splitters on it, which is crazy.
Yeah. But is that something that kind of evolved with Chris through the years of like, maybe, and I don't know if this is the case, but like say his very first 10 splitters he built were maybe 3 inches longer, and then he
That's a good
realized,
question.
that.
That's a good question. I wouldn't be surprised. Obviously, like it's constantly evolving. There's
Yeah,
changes that are always happening where, oh, let's do this, let's move that,
because sometimes there
let's
is room to like shave an inch here and there off just to
hmm
get it to fit into that,
Yeah.
that
Yeah, and
shipping
like the
length.
HOs and the SHOs, the sorting table itself comes off and then it stands in the front of the splitter, and then that
Oh
splitter
yeah.
can fit that
Yep.
way on the trailers too.
All right. I have one more thing I'm going to talk to you about, but we got to
Okay.
get back to a few. Don Slate, yes, I did get your email. I got that. And now we got to bring the ladies out for
Okay.
Marlon, our good friend Marlon. Hi, Dan. Hi, Bob. Hello, Woodhounds. Cheers. Good seeing
Hello,
you,
Marlon.
Marlon.
Cheers.
Thank you. We're almost getting down to the refill, the bottom of the hour. There was one other thing that maybe I missed another super chat. I don't know. If I did, I apologize. But all right. I don't know. If I missed your question, you gotta throw it in again. But so the container now, when you say it's leaving in, you say it's leaving in 3 weeks?
Yes. Yep.
And like, what is the general time frame from the day it's shipped till you think the time that you're gonna see it?
We've been surprised. Sometimes it's like 5 weeks, sometimes it's 8. But a general rule of thumb I like to go by is 6 to 8 weeks. That's kind of a safe bet. We just had a fuel wood container arrive yesterday, and I think that was maybe 7 weeks. That was the UK. But we had one from the UK leave, and it was like 4 weeks, and that was crazy.
And what
It
is
all depends on the ship schedules and stuff.
where does it come into?
That varies too.
Oh,
Sometimes it goes into up in Canada. Sometimes it goes into Virginia. Sometimes New York. In our case at Wolf Ridge, the stuff always ends up going rail to like Minneapolis,
yep.
and then a truck will bring it. And then we've got the dock and unload and all that stuff. So
All right. And I didn't know if I should bring this up or not, but we gotta wish Sean Watford some a smooth path on recovery from a little incident he had with his 28 Pro. But he is also wondering. I'm gonna bring this up here because he threw out a coin in the cup. Is there anything that can help move a 28 Pro around other than an ATV side by side? I am currently just moving it by hand. Thank you very much, Sean. And again, speedy recovery with your little mishap there. I don't know if you wanted me to go into details or not, but cheers. Thank you very much.
Yes, there is. It's called a trailer dolly, and Harbor Freight has one that's like, I just looked, it's like $60. Vevor has one that's $88. Looks like the Vevor one would be easier. But then you can just basically, it's got tires and it's got like a handle so you can push down on it.
Yeah. A trailer.
Then you can kind
dolly.
of pull it around. Yeah. Somebody said a trailer dolly would work. Exactly.
Yeah, I have seen that. Yeah, I do know that moving them by hand is a bit of a chore because they do have a little weight to them. And if you are not on blacktop, basically, level blacktop, it's tough. It can be tough.
It is.
One more thing, back to the whole big bombshell news that dropped this past week with Yapa. Now, I've seen videos of this from Yapa online of the perfect split in the 365, and this is like the first time it's ever been in that size machine.
Yes.
And it's probably going to be the first time it's ever been over here.
Yes.
And I think that is going to be a home run. I
do too. I can tell you, probably 3 years ago, I remember sitting in conference room at Yapa talking about putting the 365, putting perfect split with it. And also the German importers wanted it. And it seemed like the rest of the importers didn't really they were kind of indifferent to it. But the guys from Germany actually, JHS is the company there, Jan and Jörg. They fabricated their own. They took a perfect split wedge from like a 405, 435, and then they cut it and rewelded it and put it in a 365 and made
Oh,
their own returner arm and did like proof of concept with it, and it worked.
interesting.
Yeah. So that's kind of where it was like, well, they know it's going to work, so let's build it, you know. And I think you know, it's obviously like 365, 315, you know, those are smaller diameters. 365 is 14-inch diameter.
Yep.
Um, so if you put that into that perfect split wedge, you're going to get like 14 to 16 pieces of firewood. You couldn't put a 16-way wedge in a 365, you know. So the like
Yeah.
even an
Right.
8-way with a 14-inch
Yep.
diameter log, that's really pushing it. So it's going to be pretty cool to see that machine in action. Now it's not automated like the 405 and 505 are. So you
That's
cut,
what
it'll do its first split
I.
cycle, and then you just hit the lever again, hit the
That's
lever
what I
again.
saw in Yapa's. I think most recent little video like teaser they put out is I noticed that whoever was running it after the first split, every
Yeah.
split was like a manual
Yep.
send with the
Yep.
lever.
And when we were talking to the engineers at Yapa, they're like, well, you know, people really wouldn't want that, would they? And I said, well, it's like it's in between. So if you a 365 with perfect split, let's say rough estimate price wise is $37,000. You know, if you wanted to get into a 405, you're talking another 25 grand maybe. So
Yep.
I think that this will get people that wouldn't otherwise be able to get that perfect split system, you know, in the door, and then they can build inventory, they can sell a bunch of firewood, they can make a bunch of money, and then they can go, hey, now I want a 405, you know. So
Well,
I think it's a smart move.
and honestly, when you're talking, like you said, under 14 and under inch diameter logs, like I
Hmm.
think it's a benefit to not have it automated because you can always get a half that flips back awkward, and
Yes.
then having it all of a sudden at an angle trying to go into the wedge, like I think it's actually a smart move to not have it keep going because with smaller diameter wood, sometimes when you get down to like the top, third of it,
Yeah.
you could get a piece that maybe got cockeyed or crooked or I don't know. So
And you can always, when you get to like the last piece, you know, there's a tendency to put a sliver that'll sit on top of the wedge, and you don't necessarily need to, like, it'll sit under the returning arm, you know, and you
yeah,
don't necessarily need to like clear that out. You can run the next piece,
yep.
and or if you get a piece that goes back into the split chamber that's, you know, this tall, okay, well, cut the next piece and put it right on top of there. That's not a problem. Did it just do an automated like thumbs down? Did you see that?
I think it did a thumbs up something.
No, it was definitely a thumbs down, but
Was it? Did somebody just give? Maybe somebody gave a thumbs down. I don't know.
I think it
Anyway,
I think it was me.
it's bottom of the hour. We got a refill, but before we do,
Okay.
one more question on this. And I don't know if you know where I'm going with this, but the factory, the X factory,
Yes.
will we see one in the U.S. here soon?
In the US, I know that there is one headed over here for setup. It's not one that I have anything to do with, because the X Factory is a totally different, like, TP Silva is in charge of Hockey Pilkey, Yapa, and Pollux, but TP Silva branded that as their own machine. So that
Oh,
machine is going to be handled a little bit differently than like the regular processors. It's kind of like
mm,
its own identity. But
interesting.
yes, I was hoping that we would see one for the Paul Bunyan show, but we won't because of the build logs. So it's gonna be like beginning of 26 probably before we were physically able to get one. But there will be at least one in the United States here probably in the next month. I
Wow.
just won't have access to it.
Yeah. All right. All right. Well, I don't know. I think I may have missed. If I missed a coin coming down, I don't know if I did or not. But I got a refill, so we're gonna take a. I'm just gonna. I don't know. You probably don't need a refill, do you? You got that. You got that nice big,
I have this
beautiful
nice back
looking.
40 firewood. Golf, I can refill it. Somebody asked me what I was drinking. It's Jim Beam and Coke.
Jim Beam.
I don't ruin my drinks with diet soda like Dan does.
But the question is, do you have balls of ice in your
I do not. Do you have one of those fancy LG refrigerators or what?
Yes, I do.
I want one. How do you like it?
Craft ice is the way to go.
Okay.
All right. Oh, I just saw that. Can you ask if there is a way to get on the list for demos?
That's a good question. We usually just kind of watch what people are doing and see, you know, if somebody's got an increasing following. There's a lot of people that just ask for a free machine, and it's hard to do that, you know, for everyone, and it's kind of got to be like a relationship type deal where you know the person is gonna do good for, you know, the brand and the people that want to see the content from it. So yeah, I mean, you can just reach out to us, fill out the contact form on the website, and tell us what you're about and all that, and then we just kind of keep that stuff in mind.
So next week, it's going to be an easy setup for your show, the Firewood Frenzy. But I was just thinking, like, you're getting to the point where you're going to need you're going to be like a concert when they roll in town. You're going to have semi-loads, like multiple semi-loads of machines going to like Bunyan.
We had last year, yeah, and so last year, you know, we started with Fuelwood. That was the first line of stuff that we imported at Wolf Ridge, and so actually that stuff got here like just in time for the Paul Bunyan show, and we sent 2 53-foot semi-truck loads of equipment down to the Paul Bunyan show, which is just, I mean, and they were full. It's just nuts. So yeah,
but a lot of times you have machines that people are going to pick up too. So you have machines for the show and machines to pick up. Yeah, holy moly.
Yeah. So there's that's another good point actually. Like, we try to, if somebody's looking for a machine and they want to save a little bit on freight and they're near to one of these shows, we usually do like, you pay $200 or $300 for freight to get it to the show, which is better than, let's say, 1,000 or 1,200 LTL. But we're already at the point where we got to get orders. If people want to pick stuff up at Boonville, we have to get the orders in like
last week.
About now. Yeah. So we have, I know there's a few spots left. So if anybody calls, talk to Ben on getting on that list. Otherwise we will end up bringing some, we call them show stock machines. We'll build, you know, certain popular, configurations, bring those to the shows, and you usually get a couple of sales that way at the shows where somebody was like, oh, I want this exact machine. So that works too.
All right. So next week, give us the lowdown. What's happening? What's going on?
So there is a lot going on. Of course, we just talked about Yapa, so we will have some Yapa products at the Firewood Frenzy, but we've got a lot going on from Wolf Ridge as well. I see Britt is in here asking Foothills Firewood if there's any updates on the next skid steer splitter. So years ago, Chris had a splitter called the Versa Split, which was a basically skid steer splitter beam that was mounted this way on the front of the skid steer or the tractor, instead of it sticking so far out. So we built that again. And there is one unit on the tractor right now at work. And we'll be showing that next week. Do you got to wait for the coins?
No.
Should we drink? Oh, okay. Somebody dropped a bomb.
Yeah, that was. Well, let's just quickly.
Okay. But yeah, because
it was Sean.
So that's new. We have the disc cleaner. Or do you want to do the drink quick?
Yeah, let's do that quick.
Okay,
we got two of them. Hang on.
All right.
Because this is what I wasn't sure if I was going to bring up or not. But Sean Watford, thank you very much. Grabbed a piece of wood that I thought was split, but it wasn't, and my finger got pinched between the wood and the table. Almost completely severed the end of my finger. It was my fault, and still love the 28 Pro. Well, again, sorry to hear that, and hopefully you recover. Cheers.
That stuff can happen in an instant, yeah.
Oh my goodness! And then wait, WD-30. Would Wolf Ridge ever work with a company like Pezzolata? Would you work with another X-Knife machine company?
Pezzolato already has
Thank you,
import.
WD.
Oh yeah. Let's do the drink. Pezzolato already has import and distribution over here, so I don't think that would be possible. But also, we've got the X-Knife machines from Firewood, the Kindlet 200 to Kindlet Pro, and now another piece for the Firewood Frenzy. The Splitta 400 is here. Big brother to the Kindlets, kind of like what Dan's running. This one will do 13-inch lengths, and yes, we are working on something bigger as well. So,
oh my.
That's not for the Frenzy, but the Splitta 400 is at the Frenzy. The Wolf Ridge disc cleaner is there with remote control. So you can remote move the conveyor left and right. Yeah, exactly. You can stop the tines. You can start the tines. You can change the speed of the tines. You can change the speed of the conveyor. So if you're going to be running a skid steer or something like that and filling totes, you can keep the wireless remote on a lanyard and run that from inside the skid steer.
Holy moly's. So wait,
yeah,
we got back up.
Yeah, so sorry.
The Frenzy.
Go all over the place.
What time are we starting? Next Saturday.
Next Saturday, 8 a.m.
8 a.m.
Yes. If you show up at 9, it doesn't hurt my feelings. But but we'll probably be there at like 7 in the morning to get things started. Got 2 tents this year, so there should be plenty of undercover in the event that it rains. It's pretty good odds it's going to rain because you and I are both going to it.
But the forecast is clear.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I didn't even look yet. I didn't want to. So we got, of course, we've got a food truck, the Burrito Guy. He's got really good reviews from the Eau Claire area, so he'll be there. We've got, I don't have my list in front of me. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of good stuff happening. So
Saturday. 81, 24%.
81. Woo. It's gonna be warm.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're planning to be there, it's going to be a great show. It sounds like there's going to be all kinds of stuff to see. Yes. Just real quick, Miller, Stump, and Firewood was wondering if they'd be able to get a few parts, a filter and another wedge pin.
Yes, absolutely. If you call Monday or send an email to the contact form, and Ben will get you all set up. We'll have that stuff for you when you're there.
All right, we got one more.
Mm-hmm.
I find out Monday if the finger has to be amputated. Can't drink.
I hope not.
Oh my goodness!
Man,
yes.
I hope
he
not.
sent me a picture of the X-ray, and it was.
I'm sorry, man. That's terrible.
Cheers! Really thank you very much, and hopefully it's good news on Monday. Oh my! And just real quick, we may as well get WD once again.
Yes.
Does the Splitta 400 come with the Bucking Unit 2?
It does not. The Splitta 400 is... Kata. Oh, yeah.
Cheers,
I keep forgetting.
Yeah, the Kata and the Splitta are separate.
Yep. It's a modular system, and you can run the wood Kata and even a Kindlet Pro instead of the Splitta 400 if you just wanted to make kindling. Some guys buy that just to make kindling in Miniwood, which is quite the setup to do that.
I was what is the length you can cut down to
with the down to? I'm not sure on that.
Can you cut 5.5 inches?
That's a very good question.
Well, so is that another thing that you are planning to add to your lineup over here from Fuelwood?
We can get it now. It's just that I don't remember off the top of my head if it only does 16-inch max diameter, but the longest it can cut is 13 inches too. So it's pretty limited from that standpoint for our market. You could say the Splitta 400 is too, but the wood Kata is a lot more of an investment than the Splitta 400 is too.
Yeah.
So
that's big time.
And I see a lot of people getting more into the sauna splits and the
well, I was just going to say, instead of modifying the machines, maybe just the market needs to modify a little.
Oh, that'll be easy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just tell everybody to deal with it, right?
I mean, you can always fit a smaller piece in the stove, no matter what size your stove is.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. You're not
Are there
wrong.
any plans for a 3-point splitter?
So we've had that question a few times, and I know that Chris had built a couple of them, but there just hasn't been a huge demand for them. I mean, honestly, I think it would be cool to have, in the arsenal, and I don't know if it would make sense to have it built with a log lift or not, or that's the problem where you get to, like, where do we take it? What does it have to be? Is it just going to be a beam with a valve and a wedge on it, and that's it? Or, are people going to want log lift and auto cycle and wedge height and all this stuff? And then it turns into, well, this was going to be, let's say, a $3,500 thing, and now it's $8,000, and now nobody wants it. Like, it's a tough thing. But we probably only get like 2 or 3 inquiries on a tractor splitter a year, so it hasn't been something.
I don't know if those people realize that you would be putting hours on your tractor.
Yes, much like using your Kindlet, right?
So there is that. That is the
Yeah.
I see Chris in the Woodyards here. Good evening, Chris.
Hey, Chris.
Regala's here. Tony Woods. Let's see. I'm just quick. Timon, how are you doing, Timon? Oh, Lake Ontario. Yes, the wheels are spinning. I always, it's not that difficult to cut with a saw, but the thing that always ends up happening with me is it doesn't sound like it's that difficult to just cut, 5.5-inch cookies.
Yeah, but it's not. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because you might end up starting at 5.5 and then you get to 5, or using I use this perfect stick, but to get that little disc into the kerf of your last cut, you can vary by 1/4 inch, real easily. So
yeah. Right.
But yeah, the kata that is definitely it's one heck of a machine. I mean, if anyone, Oak Farm Firewood over there.
Yeah, Archie,
man, he's got the cat's meow. But then if you look at he's got 2 different barns, I think, that he fills up with like 200 bags and then 200 totes. I mean, he is no hobbyist.
Right. It's quite the operation. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. So yeah, but that would definitely be cool to see, all of those types of machines kind of make their way over, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm really,
I agree.
I'm really looking forward to seeing the splitter.
Yeah. Yeah. It is, it's pretty cool how it looks. Like I said, we got the one yesterday, and it's already set up. Hadn't had a chance to run it yet, so we'll be running it before the Frenzy. But at the Frenzy, we'll have the Kindlet 200, the Pro, and the Splitter 400 all set up kind of right next to each other, so you can kind of compare all of them. And it's been fun working with Fuelwood, with the products and the people too. Like, those guys, they're great.
Yeah.
It's been a good thing.
Saw Surgeon, the 500i is the perfect saw. The problem is the operator of the saw. The saw is not the problem. It's the operator of the saw.
At least you can admit it.
Yes. That's definitely, I know where the problem is. It's not the equipment.
Yeah.
But so just real quick, for those that maybe don't know, and I think I'm on track with this. The Splitter 400 will give you box wedge style pieces of wood.
Yeah.
From like just a regular, or from like their, whatever you want to call that type of splitter.
Well, it's it's an X blade that's going back and forth, just like it is in the Kindlet. It's just basically a scaled up Kindlet.
Yeah.
but you have that fine tuning where you can go from kindling up to the
This.
bigger actual like big split firewood from it. And yeah, it's interesting. What's especially interesting to me is when you look at it, it has like these spring-loaded sharp fingers, where we have them on the they have them on the Kindlet 200 and the Pro. They're on the top, but this has them on the sides, and they kind of grab the wood and they hold it, so
Ah,
it can't back up, and like they dig into the wood. It's pretty impressive. Pretty impressive
very,
setup.
very cool. But yeah, that's the one interesting, I guess, concept of that splitter is like you end up with
Yeah.
square splits,
Yep.
but and you said what was it? 13-inch is the max.
Yes.
13.
13-inch max length. Yes. The
So
max
yeah, so
diameter, I have to double check.
so you won't be having your standard, the American standard 16-inch, but
Getting closer. Getting closer.
I like I said, I think it just needs to turn the market around. You need to find the people with the smaller stoves.
Well, it does seem like the market is trending that direction with smaller splits and smaller lengths too. I mean, I've seen when I was first like introduced to the perfect split, a lot of other people looked at it and were like, that's too small. They don't need that, and blah blah blah. Other manufacturers are making, split pieces of firewood that are 10-inch by 10-inch after they go through the four-way wedge. And I'm like, not everybody wants that. So
Right.
it's interesting to see all these other places kind of like follow suit with that, and now the quest is on to make the smallest split firewood.
Well, that's what I think is the evolution is smaller splits have now become more and more popular, but in the size diameter, and now I think the length is the next step
Mm-hmm.
in the process
Yeah.
to shorten
Yeah.
it down.
Yeah.
So I I I think it'll get there.
Well, and look at the mini wood stuff too. Did you think that, let's say 4 or 5 years ago, that you'd be doing anything like this with that mini wood?
No.
Like
Yeah.
it's, and I think all that stuff is still kind of, I think a lot of that is still kind of ground floor. I think that's going to continue to grow.
Yeah, and it's getting to the point where now they're evolving the tabletop fire pits. So
Mm-hmm.
I just had a company reach out to me this past week on a new design of the tabletop fire pit and
Really?
different components that go inside to like change the way things burn. And then I don't know if I did a video. There was a company that made a cap for like a
Okay.
secondary burn cap. So like all these other innovations now are starting to come to the tabletop fire pit.
Mm-hmm.
So they wouldn't be doing that if they weren't selling them. And if they're
Yeah.
selling the tabletop fire pits, people might need something to burn in them.
To burn. Yep. Absolutely.
Yep. Yeah. So, I just saw Tony Woods here. Up north, Syracuse, New York, it's colder. People use little stoves. Yeah.
There's
That's the other thing is the trend of wood stoves with the high efficiency is also
and
getting.
the EPA stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this is what he's talking about or not, but I've seen these, what is it, like cubic mini wood stoves?
Oh, yes.
And I want one for this office that I have back here, because this gets a little cooler in the house. Like, that would be perfect for back here.
Yeah. Tiny homes.
Yeah.
All that. Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of colder, man, I was like, I might have to go out and fire up the boiler this today. It was cold out, and it's cold
Really?
in the house, man. Yeah, it's crazy. Anyway, let's see here. They already have smaller and shorter splits. They're called pellets. That's true.
That's
They
not
do
as
have
fun.
that, but I don't know. I think you need like authentic firewood.
Yeah. Yeah, there's something about it, that
And
you just
Cliff
can't beat.
here, Circle B, Solo stove bonfire, the best seller, fits 12-inch better than 16.
Okay.
So there's another I guess part of the market that is using smaller, shorter wood.
Yeah.
Old guy Firewood, how are you doing, my friend? Just seeing seeing some names flying by here. Logger Jason, I asked the wife about firing up the boiler this evening as well. Yeah, I think Don Slade I just said it was going to be 49 in New York tonight. So yeah, that's
getting on there
for June, for the middle of June. Heck yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, speaking of, it's Friday the 13th too. Holy crap! I forgot about that. Maybe that was the reason there was an echo earlier in the show. Are you worried? Do you get into that at all?
Me? Do I worry about Friday the 13th?
Yeah.
No, I don't care. I have bad enough luck without that kind of stuff. I don't,
You're not superstitious?
I just have the rain follow me everywhere.
I'm not really superstitious. I'm like just a little stitious.
Sure. Okay.
Oh, but Yadkin Valley Outdoors has 78. So all right.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. We are almost at flipping. We're almost ready to go into some overtime here. Jeepers.
Oh yeah.
So next Saturday.
Yes.
8:00 at Wolf Ridge Manufacturing. All of the info is on your website, I'm assuming.
Yeah, in the events tab, and then basically like we have an event listing on Facebook. So if you go to the events tab on the website, it forwards you to that Facebook event. But in the discussion tab on the Facebook event, I've got all the stuff of like who's coming, what you can expect to see there, and all the other details of the event. It's free to get in. There's no cost.
Free to get in.
If it is muddy, last year I think only one person got stuck, so that wasn't too bad. But we'll have a grassy parking area. The road going back to the wood yard is real nice. So
will there be tours of the facility again?
Yes,
there will.
We will do two tours of the factory like we did last year. There's some new stuff in the factory that wasn't there last year, so there's some new stuff to show that way, and the organization of things inside is a little bit different than it was last year too. So
I think even if you went on it last year, I think it's just interesting. It'd be interesting. I mean, I think people would be interested, just taking the walk around again this year.
Well, we didn't have the full robot last year. We had the cobot, the collaborative robot. This year, now the fully robotic welder is there and set up. And I'm trying to think of what else. There's a couple other things that are new there too. But that's the big thing.
Yep. And what is there an end time? Closing time?
Yeah, we were saying end at 5:00. Last year it kind of started to die down like 4:30. So,
yeah.
But it did start raining heavier last year too. So,
yeah. So you're gonna have multiple splitters, both. I'm guessing the vertical, horizontal.
Yep.
You're gonna have the fuel wood line.
Yep.
Of things.
A couple of Yapa machines.
Machines. All of
the
your other.
ATV. Yeah, the Ramy ATV attachments.
Oh yeah, we didn't even touch on that.
No. And that stuff has been going. That stuff's been going awesome too. We've got the dealer network back on track. So they're actually able to get machines as they want, and we've already got snowblowers coming in. Snowblowers are going to be arriving probably the end of this month already. So we're gearing up to have a good winter, and but we'll have one of each of those machines on display there too. We did the grass cutting all with a Ramy flail mower the other day.
I saw that.
Chris did that. Yeah, he was. I started mowing and he came back and he's like, so he took over. I said, all right, that's fine.
Busy. What's going on? For what?
What is going on?
Right there, right on the top. On the very top.
Oh, this?
Yep. Outside in the 515.
Somebody asking if their Pro X is going to be ready. I do not have the production system like in front of me, so
make sure you
call Ben on Monday morning, and if he had told you it was going to be ready for this event, then it should be ready for this event.
There you go. And will you have any machines available that spur of the moment somebody sees one?
No, we don't. I wish that we did, but we've been just going crazy. Right now they're getting about 25 to 30 machines done a week. And it's yeah, it's been crazy. Dealer loads going out often, so yeah, it's hard to build a machine for show stock, if you will. But yeah, we should have some other ones to show there.
So if somebody comes to the show next weekend, they see a machine they like, what are you sitting at right now for your lead times?
Right now we're looking about 12 to 14 weeks, except for the ones that are going to Boonville, because we have basically like slots kind of locked in for that. So why did Chris just ask that? No, we did not. Do you see the question?
Yeah, I think
he must be drinking.
Stirring up the chat pot.
Yeah.
Poking the bear. Will you share the models that will be on display?
Yes, we should have a 17 VS on display. There should be a Pro X on display. I know that there will be an RS on display. We have, I'm trying to think of what else. We have that old
a show
serial number. What is it? Serial number 8, I think it was. That 28 HO. Yeah, we'll have that there. And I think they might have just gotten a 28 Pro trade-in that could be available, but I have to double check on that one.
And you're going to have the Kinlet 200, the Kinlet Pro, the Splitta 400.
Yep. Yapa 405, our big disc cleaner, our big bad disc cleaner, and
I was going to say,
and the Wolfpack Power Pack, and then the new Versa Split, which, like I said, Chris had made that. He made one of those in 2018, and the way he made it, I don't know if they're going to make it again, but they had basically the push block, and then they had another block that would slide over where the wedge goes, and the guy that bought the first one was using it to set posts. So he would clamp the wood post in it, and then set with the tractor, get it level the way he wanted it, and then pours concrete, and then unclamp it. So it's kind of offset, so you can see it from the left side. Like if you're on your tractor, you can look over to the left and see it. But yeah, that was.
And then like all of the other accessories, like the bagging station.
Yeah, bagging station, log express wrapper. Yes, all of the knickknacks. We will have the fire rings, the fire ring accessories, the bottom, the lid, the grill. All of these things. And it's awesome. The grill is awesome.
So you've got, oh my goodness, are you going to have enough room back there with all of this stuff?
Holy moly. It's crazy.
That's right.
Daniel Atkins said, yeah, it was serial number 11. I don't know. I was thinking 8, but I think it was 11. That was the 28 HO. That was that we're keeping.
Okay.
We'll probably have it on display, but we're keeping that because it's kind of a timepiece.
But some of those things like the bagging stations and the fire pits, those will be available to buy.
Yes.
So,
yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And the picaroons.
Yes, and the picaroons.
Sean Watford once again wants to know, what is your best-selling model? Thank you again. Cheers.
Yes, cheers.
Let me grab a couple more balls.
Hang on. Time. But this year, the best-selling model is the 28 Pro X. We kind of came up with that idea, putting things. Basically, the 28 Pro X falls in between the compact commercial and the 28 Pro, and that machine has just gone crazy this year.
That's the black and red one, right?
Yes. Yep. That was our basically like the 10-year anniversary commemorative thing.
And when did that come out though?
It came out in February.
Yeah. So this year, that's machine that you released this year has been the best selling of this year.
Yes. Yep. Wow. And I see
Logger Jason wants to know if you have a bag holder.
I do not. What do you mean? Bag holder? We'll have to see
I
what
think
he
like
means
when
by
you're
that.
filling bags, like the third cord,
Just
face cord bags, the big
no,
mesh
bag
bags.
frame. No, do not. Do not. So Ralph Huber's asked what the deal is with the VS17, the bolt on. So basically, the only thing that's bolted on that machine is the beam. And the reason that we were trying that is because it's really dangerous to weld the 17 VS right now. The guy has to basically, it's a big production to be able to secure everything and weld everything between like the bottom frame and the beam itself. So Kevin designed the bolt-on beam to try that, and that's how, I can't remember how many it's held on by, but it's either 12 or 16 grade 8 bolts, and that's the reason for that. All those machines will always come fully assembled and test ran and everything like that. So there was some rumor about they were going to get crated and shipped out and sent unassembled, and that's never going to happen. That's not a thing. So the only reason that beam was made as a bolt-on was safety and production in the factory. That's 100%. And the other thing is the robot can weld a ton of those beams, and then we can put that beam on the shelf. And when someone orders a 17 VS, then we have the rest of the frame ready. Then the beam just comes off the shelf, gets bolted on, and it just makes. We have to work on throughput because, like I said, the guys right now are doing 25 to 30 splitters a week, and it's not enough. So they're working on increasing the ability to do throughput.
Is army green a standard color?
It is not. It is a premium color, and it adds $250 to the price of the machine.
And any interest in a dealer straight line miles from South Coast location?
Possibly. Like I was just saying with the lead times and stuff and our throughput, we got to make sure we can take care of the existing dealer network. So I'm not saying no. But fill out on the website, there's a dealer inquiry form. So fill that out, and that goes to like 4 of us at the factory.
How many current dealers do you have?
I think it's 8 with
8.
It might be more. I think it's more than that. I don't know. And I'm really sorry. There's been a lot going on.
But you just started the dealer whole thing like a few years ago, right?
Yeah, Chris had a couple of dealers, and it's kind of exploded now. So right now we have, let's see, 6, 10. There's 10 dealers with 18 locations. So
10 dealers, 18 locations.
Yeah.
Woo, man.
We're trying to fill in the spot basically like in let's say like Wyoming, Utah, Colorado. Getting a dealer in one of those locations would be ideal. Because we've got a lot of them kind of spread out everywhere else.
Yeah.
And
WD-30 Philly Green is possible for $16,000 extra.
I don't know what Philly Green is. And am I supposed to? I'm not sure.
Philly Green is like when you, I don't even know. It's not good. It's not a good color. It's nothing like Packer Green and gold.
Well, it's $250. So
is Packer Green and gold a color option?
We can't do 2 because it just adds too much. It adds too much disruption to the flow, right? So the normal colored parts would get your custom color, but there's still always going to be like the black log lift and the other stuff.
Is that anything that's on the like idea board, like doing like back in the day, the what was it, what was the American Chopper where they'd like build custom
Orange
bikes?
County Choppers, OCC, yeah.
Like, would you build a custom splitter?
There might have been a time when they would have, but now it's it's production. Like if you throw something, if you try to throw something super custom into the mix, it it might hold you up from getting 12 other machines done that people are waiting for. So that's that's a hard thing, and sometimes we have to say no.
Yeah, but maybe in the future that might be, you could build like custom splitters, like all pimp your
Yeah,
splitter. Like
yeah. There you
they
go.
bring their splitter back in and you pimp it out.
Yeah.
Kind of like that picture of that car you sent me today.
Yes, yes. That's a good one.
Anyway, we are 10 minutes into overtime. I don't know how late you want to stay up tonight, Mr. Bob Nelson.
Yes, thanks for adding the.
What's going on?
Hayden's driving on the road with his dirt bike.
What dirt bike?
The one that's in the bed.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. It sounds like you better get going pretty soon.
Well, we've got a busy day tomorrow. We got to run. We're going to be on the road early in the morning, and then back.
I am hoping to make firewood tomorrow, so got to keep the rain away for that.
Yeah, we didn't even get into any of your, like you've kind of become a little hobbyist, I think, haven't you?
I am. Yes. Not quite the hobbyist that you are.
Wait, you're still an urban. What was it? Urban dweller or something?
Yeah. Well, yes.
What was it they referred to you as?
It was something worse, and then urban dweller.
Urban dweller.
Yes, urban dweller. That's what I am.
Yeah. So I think, and I don't know how that ranks compared to hobbyist, but
I don't know either.
But yeah, you've kind of expanded, or you're in the expansion of like your wood yard and your wood
we mulched
side
out
hustle.
a big. We got a forestry mulcher to come in and made a big opening for us to put stuff, and now I've got the 35 HO out there, and I got logs brought in, which is exciting. I got really nice logs. In fact, they would be perfect for a Yapa 365. I just don't have one yet. So, I got the logs, and I'm like, oh man, like I don't need them to be as nice as they are, but they're like perfect. So
yeah,
should make for quick splitting.
And you have one stand, or how many stands do you have?
We have 2 roadside stands. Yep.
Selling.
Yeah, and they're doing fair. I think we'll advertise more once we can build up some more inventory. Right now it's at a sweet spot, but like I had turned down 2 people because I have these just like listed on Facebook Market. I turned down 2 people that asked me for either 200 bundles or 300 bundles, and I'm just like, I don't have it. I can't.
Woo!
And it was painful to say no. So I want to build
you're selling
up
bags, right?
Yes. Yeah, I'm using the Firewood bagging station, and then the bags from Northern Woodsman.
1 cubic foot or 0.75?
One, a little bit bigger, and the customer's getting a great deal. I'm not as much, but it's a good selling point when you look at those compared to the gas station bundles. Yep.
And so you have 2 stands. So yeah, you are definitely, I think you're inching towards that hobbyist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I will say this: if Time Magazine ever did a Firewood edition Man of the Year, I think this year, Bob Nelson, you would be on.
Whatever.
I'm serious. I think this year, at the end of this year, you would be easily named the Firewood Man of the Year, Time Magazine edition.
Jeez, so, let's see if I. Let's see if I can continue the trend then, okay?
Well, I'm just saying.
I don't want to let you down.
I think sometimes it goes unnoticed, but I think you have positioned yourself in this industry as the fitting title of the person to go to about now. I mean, all kinds of different machines. So,
well, thank you.
You've done a hell of a job, my man. Hell of a job.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Dan.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Thank you.
Like I said, I definitely, if we could get Time Magazine to do a Firewood Man of the Year, I think we'd see your face on the cover.
Nice.
So, thank you once again for tuning in. I think, I think we're gonna. Oh wait, Logger Jason had a whole bunch of cues there, but he was just plugging. So
hit the
you,
like,
Bob.
he says.
Yes,
thank you, Dan.
Any last words you need to say? Or
no, thank you. Thank everyone. As always, the support that I've had in this industry is awesome, and it's what keeps me going. I really enjoy what I do and the people that I work with, and it's just, I don't know, it's just an awesome industry to be part of, and really looking forward to next weekend.
Bill Irwin now is throwing out there what cover I should be on.
There you go.
Which I don't know how I would really feel about my 98% demographic male wanting me to be the sexiest man of the year.
Right.
I don't know how that sits with me right now. But anyway, thank you, Bob.
All right, thank you, Dan.
Next weekend for everyone, if you don't know, Firewood Frenzy, Wolf Ridge Manufacturing, next Saturday, the 21st, 8 to 5. Be there, and you will see a lot of machines. You'll have a good time, and you'll get to meet a whole bunch of great people.
Yes, indeed.
And one last reminder, there is no Friday Night Live gathering next week. Sorry, we can't do it. But I think I'm going to be going live from the Frenzy. So
awesome.
We'll make up for it there.
Sounds good.
All right. With that, everyone, I want to thank you for tuning in. Thanks to the moderators, and thanks to all those who threw coins down in the cup. Sean Watford, if you're still watching, good luck on Monday. Hope you get some good news and you heal up quick. And everyone, have a great weekend, and happy Father's Day to all you Woodhounds out there coming up this Sunday. So with that, Mr. The Bob Nelson, cheers. Thanks for being on tonight.
Cheers.
We'll see you next weekend.
All right. See you, buddy.
All right. Do you want to do the sign off? Do you remember, or you want me to?
Have fun, stay safe, be cool. Is that right?
Oh, Jesus.
What did I do?
That was completely the wrong order. You got the last.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Okay. Stay safe. Have fun. Be cool.
Oh, there you go. All right. One more time. Ready?
Okay. Yes.
That's your cue. Go.
Oh, everyone. Stay safe, have fun, and be cool.
Cheers. Good night, everyone.
Cheers.
Bad boy. I've got a ton of gravel in my shoes, world on my shoulder, a heart full of blues, and in the dirt, down in the dirt. I've been a real bad boy on the town all night, starting to calm down with the morning light. I'm in the dirt, down in the dirt. Been a real bad boy. I've been a real bad boy on the town all night, starting to calm down with the morning light. I'm in the dirt, down